Whoa, welcome back to your Hulky updates. Without further ado, let's jump right in. We have some updates as far as what's happened in the last 20 hours, 24 hours since our last VC. But we'll jump right into it. Also, I have a question for you guys. So, your feedback will be cherished. New information for me today through my mentor, but we will talk it through after we run through some of these announcements. So let's show harder. Let's retweet the Smash Space. Let's get that sent out. We have 10 projects joining the Smash Space. As far as another update to that is the Smash Space has been posted, which I posted towards the end of yesterday's VC. So 10 projects are on there, all retweeting. Proof of Memes is excited. Shish Toshi is our co-host, who is a esteemed DGen, and we'll also be talking about one of his projects that are coming that he's building. So let's get some hype around it. And if you guys are in the ability of retweeting, awesome. But let's make sure we like, comment, build some hype to the Smash Space, especially as we're gearing towards moving this into YouTube. On top of that, Crypto Muscle Joe tweeted us. He's an advocates of Hulk Inu and focused on social media. One thing that I have found now, right when we opened VC, I was checking it out. Kyle Hebert narration has arrived. So we will be adding that into the Hulk Inu page 3 comic. We're adding it in addition to motion graphics. So we have our developer ready for motion graphics, but they're also going to be doing the video for it. We're using parallax effect, which is like a zoom effect, but also brings a holographic type of feel to Hulk Inu's movements. Um, and we'll also be adding in Kyle Hebert's narration to it. And another announcement is we are listed on Common Ground as a communication platform that is competing against Discord. So let's go ahead and join that community and build some hype there, as well as we start to spread more reach for Hulk Inu, as well as more exposure with utilities rolling out. So I'll forward that to the group from the pins. So that's in there. This is the referral link you guys have to use for you to be able to join into the community on Common Ground. It's quite exclusive, and you guys can shop around with other communities too. Okay, so coming up in the near future for Hulk Inu, the AMA standoff is something we'll do when we're launched onto YouTube. We may even make that part of the launch campaign of us going into YouTube with our AMAs and spaces and et cetera, collaboration spaces too. Bear in mind with the Smash Base coming, we will have collaborative AMAs in which we go one to one with a lot of these projects. But there will be a poll as well. So make sure when you're listening and you guys can vote on the poll. That will be at the end of the space. We usually end it off with the poll is up. Go ahead and get your votes in. And then I share it over to each participant, each person that spoke that made it to the space. So next up from Common Ground. So go on to Common Ground. We'll establish a bit more of influence there, and then we will start to enter into Discord. Discord for more NFT exposure, more generalized exposure for our utilities and our project in general as well. We're going to have one Medium article released for each new utility. This will also be uploaded to Common Ground. Um, and yeah, the first of 6 is to be released. So we were actually thinking about doing the project integration, but there is an issue with the site, which I'm speaking to the developer with. Not necessarily an issue to the site, but we're meant to be getting 2 referral codes for discounts for you guys. But it is not picking up our wallet address. But as I'm saying it, let's see if it's been addressed yet. So this will start off with codes onto the group as a prediction betting utility, but then it will be added into the website as well. So let me try this out real quick. But yeah, sorry, I stray. So 1 of 6 will be in. We have another utility that is in revision as far as should be final draft, so we can launch that one out too. Um, but okay, here, let me go. I'm gonna jump back to those utility updates because that is the question that I wanted to ask. Same issue still happening. Okay. As far as what to expect in the near future, we will have more utilities going out. Let me skip over the question part that I have in here as well. Still waiting to hear from the Chinese promotion company's point of contact. I have reached out yesterday and I reached out again today. A 10K buy from Alcazar Tokens team shouldn't be far away from now. The motion graphics and narration added to the comic. And the text is out so you guys can read the story. If you're too lazy to read it, you can wait for narration with Kyle Heber reading it for you. As well as a creator fee will be added to the NFTs. What this does is it will give passive income to you as a portion of those fees will be distributed to NFT holders depending on their NFT status. This is only in effect when someone is trading on OpenSea. So when you're minting, you're just minting from our minting dApp. But if somebody is buying from you, there'll be a small additional creator's fee. So as we get more exclusive with their NFTs, more people are trading them across OpenSea, then all NFT holders will also be getting passive income simply for holding the NFT. Shout out to Crypto Prince for talking that through with me. So yeah, so those are some of the things to look forward to. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about in more detail. So I had a call with my mentor today, talking about the collaborative site, which I'll talk more about on Saturday, I do believe. I'll drop what that collaborative site is. At least that's what I'm thinking. But yeah, so talk to him about some of the viewpoints, additions that we can do as far as inspired by it. Wait, no, wait, I think I told you guys the collaborative site. It's the consumer information site. Whichever. I'll announce them all on Saturday. Um, so yeah, so he had said it should be much more lucrative since these ideas are quite unique and also financially fueling that they could be it would be a good idea to tokenize. I think it was 3 or 4 out of the 6 utilities to come. So, what that would mean, especially with our level of transparency, there's the option of me just doing that, without you guys knowing. I don't like that whatsoever, neither did my mentor. But it is the thin line of having them tokenized without it straying from Hulk Inu or a conflict of interest from you guys as well. But the general concept would be to launch a project surrounding these utilities brought to you by Holkino. We have a buy bot in addition to our Holkino buy bot inside of our community. You guys get updated and know about it. Now, you don't need to invest into it, but the idea is that it is um, a project that already has utility to it. We have a lot of connections to influencers to get it off of the ground. It is not a great time to be launching, but if we did the slow approach, especially with building up the website like we're doing for Holkino, then it would one bring in more instant traffic to some of these utilities, two funding for the utilities, as well as that project. But the I want it to be interconnected to Holkino. So kind of like a governance token, but without everything that a governance token stands for. So more of like a financial side to it. Um, this is something I had planned for down the line, but I'm mulling it over and I'm trying to find common ground there to see. First of all, communication with you guys. If you guys like this idea, for example, you get like early CA. Um, the utility aspect of financial utility is where it may stray, so we can turn it into the banner on the site, like the advertisement. The top banner is always Holkino, reserved for Holkino. It's brought to you by Holkino, so that brings exposure to Hulk as well as like the native token to multiple utilities. Four, and then we start developing more. All projects, all with you guys having the opportunity of early CA, holding or doing whatever you need to do with those. And then we incentivize the new holders in line with that project. Um, and then it could be a financial split. So it would kind of be like bridging, but bridging our utilities into another token. So then it grows, and it would be yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud now, so you guys can also weigh in. But it would be potentially like half of the revenue goes into um, so it could be 50% of revenue goes into like NFT holders or holders of this tokenized utility. 50% goes to dev, which is me, but that really just goes back into chart like we've already had planned. Or 100% of that utility of the profits goes into the other project while we build that up, brings more exposure to Hulk Inu. It's also known that it's made by Hulk Inu. And we could, yeah, I don't know. I want it to be like how a native token work that it directly influences. So I don't want 100% of the profits to go to it, but yeah, it would be a dev fee that we just put into the Hulk Inu marketing wallet for buybacks, locking in tokens, or yeah, just for marketing in general. So that's some of the concept because that could bring that's much more of a promotion based campaign, but I wanted to announce it to you guys so we can see what's happening, and so that people don't think it's I'm splitting my time in whichever way. This is a good way to launch it out, a good way for you guys to get some income, additional income as early on, and then knowing that we're continuously building this up with the affiliate marketing sponsorship ads going back into that chart or 50% of it going back into that chart, or as Holkinu gets more exposure, then these attached projects get more exposure as well. So there's one side of it if it could be a split of income that people will want to ape into these other projects. But at the same time, it's all through Holkino. So gains made from those projects and go back into Hulk. If people are coming into Hulk, they can see other projects and vice versa. So it makes a bit more of a ecosystem instantly. So now we were focused with these utilities of building a ecosystem for exposure and streamlined financial income into Hulkino. But then we could split this for exposure to the utility as well, as far as the token goes, with influencers supporting it as well, and the utility already being ready. So quite the bullish launch, and the verification of it's from the Hulkinu team, which keeps bringing it in. So that would technically be free advertisements if we got Maythouse, Gooby, and etc. Everyone to call this and saying, hey, this project is a utility based project brought to you by Hulkino, and the Hulkino incentive is either, yeah, I guess the dev fee will go into Hulkino, so that's fine. But then also exposure based is that the top banner stays Hulkino, and we could also link up to other projects that way too. So if anyone has ideas on it, that's one of my mentors I spoke to. I'm going to talk to the other ones as well and try to see if it's more of um, more common ground that we can find, pun intended, but more of this like with the NFTs, the win-win situations of it. Taz Crypto says, I want Hulkinu for Christmas. Only Hulkinu will do. I don't want FTT or any dinky coin. I want Hulkinu to hold, stake, and enjoy. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you for sure. It's just more of like yeah, it's a gray area of launching the token for exposure for this project for the utilities. Because then you have a base of users that are invested into the projects. For example, like launching a meme contest for it, people using it, excitement, spreading it around as something that's new. I'm into this token, push for promotion. But then it would turn into more exposure into the whole keynote. So I was also thinking of token migration at some point of people invest and then we migrate their tokens into Hulk Inu tokens. But I don't know if that's bullish either. Yeah, I'm just it's a new thought that happened today. Obviously, we have the utilities already being established, but my mentor was saying for it to push the utility even more as like a marketing campaign, a launch, and then if it is financially gaining, then it goes back into that chart, whether it be over a longer period of time or a short period of time. But it's quite bullish because a lot of projects launch without a utility, and this is quite unique, different, and already looks good. So yeah, no pressure for you guys to ape into these projects, especially in the state of the market. But it could be great for that push of, instead of like, oh, here, like posting and pinning in here, that's one side of promotion for exposure for it, compared to launching a project with it being a new token in the market, and influencers all around have more incentive to promote it as it being fresh, all interlinking back to Holkino. Yeah, then Taz Crypto with Dinky Coin, like Logan Paul's coin. No, this would be something more of, yeah, I need to do more research on it and more talks, but it would be more of stable, not stable, steady, of a coin you invest into, and then it slowly creeps up. But it's nice because it's an interconnected push, right? So if it's the collaborative site, then there's partnerships attached to it along with a new chart. But yeah, maybe we could have some of the taxation, so that dev fee. Yeah, I can see it could start to work. It needs to be that if this project is doing well, then it directly interlinks into Hulk Inu's project doing well financially. Now, of course, that project doing well is financially fueling for Hulk Inu through affiliate advertisements and sponsorship ads. But we could also have some of the tokenomics of that dev fee. The wallet for the dev fee can just turn into Hulk Inu's marketing wallet. Maybe we can have it go right into the contract. So that would be handy. So every time that contract threshold gets hit, goes into Hulk. And we could do that for the collaborative site, the consumer information site, the music site, the music channel. What was the other one? Oh, and StreamYard. So you can see how these as projects standing independently instead of just being utilities, but also open saying that it is Hulky News utility and it's a side token for you guys to invest into. Yeah, I don't know. I got to mull it over, but I wanted to weigh in on you guys. If everyone was against it, then I would stop thinking about it. But if people are intrigued of seeing how this could work as utility projects, so not just that Hokino is a utility, but it's now launched multiple utility projects around it in support of Hokino. 1% of those fees are debt fees, but really allocated to Hokino. And profit sharing in between the tokens, but all exposure goes to Hulk Inu as the token project itself gets exposure in the traditional route. But like on the news site with the top banner, Hulk Inu's there. It should be good for more exposure and then also financially fueling because there's a wave. There's always a wave with new projects, and then that way it can directly fuel into Hulk Inu, probably stronger than independent promotion for the utility. Any thoughts on that, Taz Crypto? Maybe if you have anything clear on it, or if are you a hard pass? Crypto Prince, thoughts on that as well? OG, Xiao Xiao, Shiba Doge Man, Gru, Shiba Doge Soldier, Toast, Helicopter. If you guys want to weigh in on it, again, if you guys are the main listeners, right? So if you guys are super against it, then I won't even try to pursue it. But I think it has potential there somewhere. But yeah, definitely the kinks need to work out for mutual benefit, even gains. So it's beneficial for both. So that way, the more that we promote Hulk and people want to get into the other side of it, it's still transaction based into Hulk, exposure based for Hulk for both sides. The reason being, it's not like the utilities, the NFT, where more promotion goes into a financial fuel. No new token until first round of NFTs sold and Hulk hits 1 mil market cap. That way, we can show Hulk, show what Hulk can bring. Yeah, agreed. I see what you're saying as far as, yeah, because that could be a divide division of interest of focus, I guess. But that's what I was thinking of. How should I say this? Of the utility, right, Taz? The utility on face value, yes, exposure for Hulkino. Um, but then you have project hunters that are just hunting launches. So having the token launched, having a token for that utility launched tied with Hulkino would give more exposure and then push us more towards the 1 mil market cap with fees being allocated into the chart. So, like we said about streamlined income, um, that going into the chart, and then a push for that exposure. So it's kind of like I see what you're saying. You don't want any new tokens around it to distract, but I think that because of how it's interconnected, it's not just a random like this is a whole other project. This is Hoki News utility being launched and being tokenized. So incentive for you guys if you want early entry, but also incentive for the utility for promotion. Uh, but yeah, so that way there's like it's a financial push for Hokino as well. If 1% that dev fee is going to Hulk, so then it's one side of launching the utility like we would here and exposure based around it, but two side of tokenizing. So then that influx of a launch pushes Hokinu's chart upwards as well. So instead of announcing the utility here, it's announced in a new group or maybe here. I wonder if it was, nah, I don't know. But hopefully I'm making sense with it. That's like a promotion push. But yeah, I don't want it to be a gray area either of it's a money grab. So that's what I'm trying to work out. And then NFTs sold. Yes, very true. But yeah, it's also about bringing that exposure. There have been projects that have done something similar. So it's kind of like how we're inside of the MetaWorld Inu hub or universe, but then building it around our utilities. I don't think it's been done with, yeah, it would have to be a name for it. And then clear communications that so this is a project for Hulky News utility. It's going to be dropped. Um, charts going up with the utility for exposure, but then yeah, it's tough because it's like dual. That it would be instead of Hokinu drops this new utility, it would be Hokinu drops new utility with you can ape into this project, but then yeah, then it's less ape towards Hokino, but then transactions, but exposure, yeah, you gotta weigh the options. Maybe I can get more of a clear thing for you, but Taz Crypto says not into it until at least Hulk Inu hits 1 mil market cap and we can show Hulk Inu's push. It's definitely true. That's why I was thinking if I was to do this without asking you guys, it would bring a lot of confusion. But by including you guys, it can definitely bring some good finance to Hulk Inu and you guys if you wanted to ape into something like that. But yeah, I agree. Not just with Hulk Inu's market cap, but also the market sentiment in general. So we could just keep it at these utilities will launch for Hulk Inu, and then for the next wave of them, if the market is better, Hulk Inu's market cap will be higher. Then we can start talking about um, innovating a token for it. Like for the Inu Studios, that could be a token in line with Hulk Inu. But there's definitely an exposure and financial factor to building up a hub. I saw it in another project where the buy bot has buy into their governance token, a buy into their main token. But yeah, then this could turn into we would have 5 buy bots of someone buys into one utility to 4 utilities and then Holkino as well. All of this with I like this project, so I invested, and it's from this main project. So it should turn into transitioning because Hokinu's the main and it's pushing upwards the most and has the most utilities attached to it, where each one of these would have one utility. Yeah, Crypto Prince says the idea he is speaking about comes from Shiba. Yeah. So it could be something that's very strong for exposure of okay, this project is a multi-project, multifaceted, just like our utilities and marketing campaigns are multifaceted with more than one step. This would be making a hub, and then it would be in like a matter of weeks we have 4 projects and 5 buy bots and much more exposure. Yeah. Shiba has 3. Native, governance, can't remember the third. But yeah, I don't know. Do you know which ones? Crypto Prince for Shiba?
Check. open.
Say again?
He put it up.
I couldn't really hear you. Muffled. Yeah, it could be that she was doing that. I mean, I think it's very intriguing as far as the exposure aspect and then the financial fueling is just reaching that common ground of how these projects are interacting. We definitely have the exposure side to it as that's what we do. Um, but yeah, each utility, because my mentor had said he saw the some of the drafts and say, wow, this is very unique and they could be, yeah, Shiba Bone, yeah, and Leash. Yeah, but these are just names for native governance in the main. But yeah, no. So my mentor was telling me that seeing these sites is like, how did you make this? That I outsourced and came with the ideas. It's super creative, and they can pop off on their own as coins as well, and then further push. Basically, what I've been saying, further push exposure, and then good financing for collaborative promotion. So the idea is Hokinu brings you 24/7 music channel. And then any promotion that Hokinu is doing. So if we're using that marketing wallet, then it would be promoting Hokinu brings you 24/7 YouTube channel where it's more of an exposure and then more regions for each, but then a more of a budget being allocated.
Based on just posted in the chat.
Yeah, yeah, I see. Yeah, exactly. And that's over time. So yeah, these are all Sheep, Leash, and I know Bone is their governance, I think. I have a question from Mika here. Do you project to lock liquidity for a long time? Mika, with the liquidity lock, we extend it at milestones, but nonetheless, it never goes under a month of unlock because that's where people start to get cautious. But we're also talking to Unicrypt. So we were talking to one of the COOs who has now switched to another project company. But what's intriguing is with Unicrypt, they offer each time that you extend your liquidity lock, you can get a free promo from them, whether it be a tweet of some sort or into their community announcing Hokino as extended liquidity lock. A lot of projects do not pursue that. So we're talking to them now to do that. But the idea is extend liquidity per milestone, as well as yeah, for exactly those questions, a bit more exposure every time that is extended. But yeah, it can. I think I announced that it will be extended for a longer period of time when we reach a certain threshold. But yeah, it's like releasing utilities. All six utilities are out. We've extended liquidity lock along with some promotion to it. So it's like a caller says they have 10 utilities now by launch, and they just extended liquidity again. And then Unicrypt's also promoting that too. So it's a bit more of a bang. Yeah, no problem. And Crypto Prince, what do you think about this tokenizing utilities idea? We know Taz's side. And not saying that we're going to do it, but still something to explore, especially if we were going to wait. And that way we're all on the same page going forward. Or anybody else that wants to weigh in. We're talking now about um, my mentor had recommended tokenizing the utilities since they're also unique for exposure and financial gains into the whole.
Base, I think it is a good idea, but it is better to start it when we finish the next program.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's Taz Crypto's side as well. Is you need to be more established before you can start to spread out. So it's probably better for 10 utilities inside of Holkino, and then market caps increased. And like Taz Crypto had said, also the NFTs are sold out, so we can show more. So that even adds on a V2 staking, the evolution process for NFTs, as well as the race to Valhalla. But that's not what I was getting at. So V2 staking comes out, the NFTs are more active, and 12 Ethereum buyback, so even higher market cap. And then we have more of that milestone access of automated pushes with the organic market maker aspect of V2, and it shows the status of Hulkino. So I'm pretty sure that's what Shiba Inu did, right? It's more that when they were Shiba Inu, then they're saying we're releasing another part, which probably is more fruitful for us with Inu Studios. But I was thinking of this as a push for these utilities themselves to push Hulk Inu forward to reach more of the milestone of Hulk Inu launches consumer information website 1 week. Next week, same influencers and YouTubers, right? Then Hulk Inu launches a collaborative website focused on memes the next week. Hulk Inu launches a 24/7 music channel for NFT music artists, hip hop or crypto focused music artists around NFTs. And
Base,
for Hulk Inu does StreamYard.
um, the thing is, I don't think that 1 million market cap is enough. That is why I'm saying that it is better to launch new tokens inside Hulk project after the next bull run, because
Yeah,
it is very important that you get well known before you make a new token inside the project.
yeah, yeah. That's what I meant with Shiba Inu being the Shiba Inu. I agree with you. Is that it's further down the line, especially as the sentiment of, right now, if Shiba Inu was to launch a new project, everyone would be very excited because Shiba Inu, we should be more established and more stable of a foundation and floors. So yeah, no, I'm with you. That's very true. I mean, this was something that we already had planned for in the future. But yeah, then this piece of advice coming from my mentor saying that these utilities are very unique, and could be stronger. But yeah, it's true because that's what I was worried about was one from the investors of okay, new project. What about Hulk? But yeah, two is that also that from new investors too. And if one of these projects takes off more, that's not great either for you guys. So the thought process was a even distribution of income. So as this project, if it does pop off and Hulkinu pops off, that like it starts to pump with automated taxation going back into Hulkinu's chart. So like the 1 or 2% of the fees goes into the other project. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. It strays the focus too much, and it's better
Yeah.
if we focus and have Hulkino independently have 10 utilities, and down the line we could do something like this.
But there's uh, these tokens that pay Bone and Leash, which Shiba has, it is not a new project. It is you can call it a project inside a project. So you have a Shiba token, and you have Bone and Leash being used in something different way inside Shiba project. If you get my point,
Yeah,
I know it is hard to understand, but it is a project inside a project.
yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, I do believe one of them is their governance token, which gives you access into a DAO and choosing what happens with it with the project going forward. And I can't remember what leash was. I'm trying to look it up. I've looked into these before from an influencer Suppleman, one of my favorites. He has good calls.
And if you see the value of the tokens of Bone and Leash, they have has higher cost in dollars than Shiba does.
Yeah, no, I think it's that there's less tokens than Shiba, so it's more exclusive.
And it might be like a lending token, one of them, or staking one, because there's some platform. When you stake, you get a different token, and that new token which you get as payment, and the new token you can switch it back to ETH.
Yeah, this is saying that Leash was wow, it was initially a rebase token to track Dogecoin's price. So it is actually quite separate. It's a limited supply, 100,000 tokens, like you were saying, for a different price, and therefore it's a different appeal. So yeah, it's just launched under it. So it's a very similar concept, except where Shiba Inu and Doge lack utility is what's making Hulk Inu the strongest of all Inus, which is also why we marked 10 utilities within 6 months to, further push that concept of we are a meme token turned theme token turned utility based token. We're already considered utility based just with 4 utilities. But yeah, over time, got to push out more, which in the end, that's still the same concept. But now I was thinking more of this side of why not have these utilities as a secondary token? So it's the same thing, less supply, more exclusive, um, kind of like an NFT concept, right? Can be launched to you guys and then promoted out, but still falls under their whole Inu org.
One of
And
the
then
points where I can see you can use it is play earn game. Like you get a different token.
yeah,
Um, it's something like that. You can use it inside Hulk, but in a different way.
yeah, yeah. So that's where I was trying to think of that financial incentive of that common ground that if we were to have that, it'll be used inside of Hulk. So Bone is the native token for Shiba Swap. And their second one, this one I don't still need to look into it. That it was for tracking Doge, their competitor. It has a number of use cases in the SHIB ecosystem, including staking, receiving land in the Shiba metaverse, NFT purchases, and more. So yeah, so they really just made another token and said, yeah, you can use this token for staking as well. You can also use Shiba for buying Shiba metaverse and buying Shiba NFTs, which inherently should be what the main token should have done too. So I think it's the same type of thing of more of an exposure base because it's the news of Shiba's launching a new token. Same type of thing with Hulkino launching a new token. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It's that it's inside of Hulkino. So that was what I was thinking for the bot, the buy bot being inside of Hulkino. But yeah, it's true. It's that this token should be used in some way. So if we were launching like the merch store and then we launched this token and said you can use this token for discounted rates on the merch store, that way it's interconnected. But if we were launching it as a utility based token in connection to Holkino, then yeah, it should have that interaction of you buy this token and you get this from this utility, which is from Holkino.
It's just
As Crypto
important to
says,
know these details because so people don't think that you're starting a new project and and leaving Hulk.
yeah, exactly. So that's where I was at of so the how it's from today, right? So that's what I was saying, working out the kinks. But if I was to get a strong response from you guys of like hell no, then I wouldn't pursue it. But now we're talking about Shiba as well. But the idea would be all information would be passed through Hulk. I was thinking of just launching it in Hulk, like inside of our main chat. And then anyone that wants to buy into it goes through Hulk. But then no, it would be more of the community is launched inside of Hulk Eno. You guys get like first access to it before promotion if you wanted to enter into it. But see, these are more of that type of thing is more of a bull market situation because you have no idea if you launch a new project now, you have no idea what's going to happen. Compared to before, you had less variables. Now there's a lot more variables for new launches. But yeah, no. So it would be something like that of you hold that token, and then you get this for the utility, which in the end is Holkini's utility. But yeah, Taz Crypto has a good point, and you have a good point too of that concept is a bit too early for us as we're still establishing ourselves as 10 utilities for Holkino. But then if we did this, then it would be wait, so what project this is for? Is this a partnership? This is the same team. Okay, but one market cap's higher, one's not. So I agree that it'll take a bit more time of establishing what we can do. Um, but then like down the line of Inu Studios hits, then we launch this other token as like the native token for Inu Studios, which is brought to you by Hulk Inu. Things like that. It's not a 1, 2, 3 type of situation for sure. It's not easy. It'd have to be super organized, like how our NFTs are super connected to the entire project. So yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Ahead of myself, but it is the idea that we had for the future, but just not with these utilities. Yeah, with innovation like this, it's still like, I can't stop thinking about it. Taz Crypto says there are projects that have more than one token in their ecosystem, but so far has not done much. Best to wait till we get established as a strong community or project. Agreed. Yeah, I agree. I see what you're saying. Um, yeah, it's very true. And then especially with the utilities to get more established, and then we can do the inverse, right? So like how established businesses like Radio Shack launch tokens afterwards, with no utility though, which is strange. Like you would think you go to Radio Shack, you're a token holder of a certain amount, you have some VIP service, but they did not do that. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying that if we're making a collaborative website with memes that blows up to be the next uh, Reddit's 9gag for crypto, and then we can announce a token system for that, especially on that platform with more of a following. So I was thinking on the other side. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree, it's true. And the whole problem is that it's a division. If it's like, hey, your project's on a low right now and you launch another project, are you jumping ship? No. It's connected, but yeah, it's those questions that will continuously come and then continuously think of what's the focus here? Is it this project or this project? In the end, it's all of them. But yeah, then in that sense, it may as well stick to our actual plan. 10 utilities within 6 months of launch. We promote out those utilities, get more traffic. They start to build up. Their affiliate marketing and sponsorship ads get injected back into Holkino, and those tokens are locked. Then with that exposure from those utilities down the line, after Holkino is super well established with all of its systems in place for stability, then we still have the opportunity of saying, hey, this meme website, Memerium is what I'm thinking of calling it, Memerium, working title, um, is launching a token. So it's like we could turn into imagine, wait, Reddit is launching a token, or they launched NFTs, that type of hype. So yes, it works the other way too. A bit of a uh, stronger, gruesome marketing strategy along the way. But yeah, that's very true. So all of these utilities we're putting out, the top one that's super hyped, that's the future too. We can launch it into a native token to push Hokino as well. But yeah, I agree with you guys. Let's focus on building Hokino as a strong community and not distracting. So these utilities will be for Hokino all the way, but we always have the opportunity of in the future launching tokens for them for Hokino's push. So yeah, I didn't think it that far. New idea. I should have brainstormed it a bit before bringing it to you guys, but I didn't want to overthink it for exactly what you guys are saying of like, no, I don't like it because of the distraction. And of course, you guys are the most important. So nonetheless, we continue forward with the same idea, building out these utilities, promoting them out. The financial revenue gained from the utilities go back into Holkino. All the while, these utilities will have banner ads and affiliate marketing, but the top banner ad is reserved for Holkino as traffic builds. More eyes go onto Holkino. They are established as independent names, which is also how this idea came. So it's not like Hulk memes, right? Because that's not so marketable. Taz Crypto says there is Cult with RVLT, Shiba Doge with Burn. There was BTFA and their DAO Lit or Ash, and none have gained to help each other. Still a good idea just for later, just my opinion. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. It's true. I mean, that's what I was thinking though, is that these are all like traditional compared to this. These are each one of them, like I was saying on the last VC, each one of these utilities are what people make income from, like to support a household. with its influencer on YouTube, whether it's a consumer information site, whether it's a consumer friendly site where people are using it, a StreamYard as well as a fully functioning business that we're all competing with those. Prediction betting is a project that's supporting itself as well, which has token too. And the other one, I always forget one. 10 utilities. Here we go. Yeah, and then the AR reality filter is definitely just utility for an existing project. So, yeah, no, I agree. That's what I was thinking was the focus, the focus of financially, like it's a business itself. That's not a DAO or something like that. It's quite the unique aspect. Man, CryptoPrince scared me. I thought that was our chart. Oh no, not scared. I read it wrong. Um, so Coco says, agree with that. Multiple token is bad in my opinion. Better keep building a strong Hulk. The time will come. Yeah, exactly. And Crypto Prince says the picture above is how we will look when we hit 95 mil market cap. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with all three of you guys for sure. And what is definitely settling is the inverse is possible. So as we build Holkino as a community with all these utilities that are quite well known, we're able to always down the line, 6 months, a year inside of the better market sentiments, are able to say, hey, this site that you guys have been using is now having a token of itself. So you already have an investor base exposure. So yeah, that's definitely handy. And then it'll be more clear of how we can interconnect the two too. So like with Inu Studios, that's quite clear. Um, but yeah, okay, that makes sense. So that this way, especially with 10 utilities within 6 months of launch, I'll tell you, not one project has done that before. So yeah, I got ahead of myself of thinking, oh yeah, we'll tokenize them too. But then that takes it away, doesn't it? Then it's not one project, then it's four extra utilities. So it'll be five projects with a utility each. So I see, it definitely takes away from that 10 utilities in 6 months of launch. Super built project with more utilities on the way and more milestones to be hit for continuous growth inside of the project. Even if we're in a bear market, they've set it up that they have automated buys into the chart through ad revenue and automated advertisements happening through their sites and traffic being built. So yeah, no, I agree with you guys. Backtrack on that. Let me take it out. But definitely something for the future. And obviously, we'll talk about it more in the future. Um, and it'll be a lot clearer. So it'll be a lot more clear in the sense of I won't be asking you guys your thoughts. I'll say this is the way. Just like with 10 utilities, I just said, hey, we're gonna have 10 utilities in 6 months. That is the way. But yeah, so no tokenizing to it. Three of you guys have already helped with it. I definitely forgot about the other side of it of push them out, promote them out, get them super hyped. And you can always launch a token for it in line with Holkino. So all the while, it was I guess tokenizing it would be more of a shortcut, but the problem is the maintenance of it is yeah, exactly. OG Runners also does not agree. It's a good thing I talked to you guys about it instead of just boom, here's a new project, guys. Because yeah, Hokkien does take a lot of the time. And I know project launches, man. I don't know if I'm ready for another project launch at this point yet. 48 hours straight, 72 hours straight, no sleep, then little naps, 4-hour naps, and getting right back to work directly while having like multiple mods and teammates oversee chat. It's launches are intense. And as you build, you have more of a okay, this is my time to work and whatnot. To like work outside of chat, I mean, where you know the community's running. So yeah, okay. So in the near future, what to expect is these 6 new utilities within 6 months of launch, equaling 10 utilities in 6 months to celebrate our 6 month anniversary. That's our gift to you guys and to the chart, pushing it forward. Bear in mind, guys, the same, nothing really changes as far as that we're not doing tokenizing. We are still pushing out these utilities. They'll still have traffic focused to them. Influencers will still be calling them. Banner ads for Hokino will still be going in. Revenue generated from these utilities goes back into the chart. Um, what else am I missing? Search engine optimization. They are branded independently, but they are found through our website, and how it's interconnected on face value as far as a new person looking is the banner ads. We didn't want to say similar idea of what you guys are saying. We didn't want to convolute its branding and its push with Hulk Eno, but it's still brought to you by Hulk Eno. But as far as establishing it going forward, uh, in the beginning is its own name, and then the 24/7 music channel is on Hulk Eno's YouTube channel, so that's quite obvious. Other sites are pushed out as independent operating parties, but the profits go into Hulkino, and the main banner ad is exposure for Hulkino. Um, we can always update the logo to have it in like our website, brought to you by Hulkino website name. But this is how we'll push it out going forward. So that is for the exposure for Hulk with banner ads, and then also for streamlined income into the chart. Now, as traffic builds, right, and then we start selling off the top banner ad, that's probably where it's a good part of changing the logo of, this crypto site brought to you by Hulkino. So we still have that exposure as we're renting out ad space. But yeah, so you guys already know that concept. We'll be posting on more Medium articles focused on each individual utility as it goes, as well as yeah, multiple more promos, exposure into Discord. Yeah, I'm looking at getting that as well. I talked to Mr. Big Whale, Crypto Prince forwarded in a bot that gives you levels for your activity inside of the community. Will be quite handy for us, especially as we move forward, especially giving you guys that recognition of, yeah, I'm inside of this chat all the time. Need to hit up.
That one will be great.
Yeah, right, exactly. Um, also handy for contests too. So that was a good reminder. Let's search members, gotta hit up hero, here he is.
He's using XP.
Is that the bot?
No, but it is based on XP. How many letters you write?
Okay, yeah, because I know a lot of the exchange listing groups, they have that as well for, people that get promoted up to admin level.
Just posted the table.
All right, let me check. Hey, Top Dog, Chat XP bot. And this is what Mr. Big Whale uses. Okay, cool. Yeah, we need Hero to help me out with this. There's no menu in here with this bot. With that, we've cleared the air then, and I'm on your page, on the same page as you guys. We're good. We're moving forward as we have been speaking about. Forget the tokenizing thing. That is down the line. Any other questions, points of concerns, feedback that you guys would like to share, whether it be on utility focused, promotion focused, going once, feel free.
Base, did you see the new gift Pocahontas made today?
Yeah, with the Elon tweet and then Moon.
It is funny one.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, so I might use this bot, the XP bot. I see inside of Mr. Big Whale's group that it's tricky, but Whitebit uses one too. Any other questions, points of feedback, concerns, comments, anything needs to be clarified going twice? Maybe we'll make this bot. All right, last announcement. Any other things that need to be clarified? I will repeat anything. I will not repeat everything. If anybody has any questions or wants anything talked about again, I know it's a bit confusing when we talked about tokenization of utilities, but I'm on the same page as you guys. We will move forward as expected. But with that, any other thoughts, points of feedback, comments, things you want us to explore, look at, feel free to let us know. And if you have a question that arises later on, just feel free to tag me in main chat or one of our team members will be able to answer you. No problem, Taz. You know it. We'll have some utilities being announced soon. And have them showed around to some influencers on Telegram, YouTube, and Twitter, as well as some other search engine optimization for them and traffic built around some of these utilities. And we are still currently grabbing music from artists. So our 24/7 Holkini music channel will have some songs, but it'll grow more and more, especially when we go to new conferences. And we'll be attending some spaces as well that focus on music. You know, bringing the skill with the music, and then offering put your songs on our music channel that are crypto focused. All right, with that, guys, I'll end off the VC. We had some information for you guys. More utilities are coming in. We have the narration from Kyle Hebert. Next step is motion graphics being added and adding in the comic and changing the PNG, the picture of the comic page into MP4. With motion graphics, audio attached, and some new zooming effects as it reads through. We have the one of our sites final draft should be in a couple hours as well. Augmented reality filter should be first glance will be in a couple hours too. So we will have some new announcements coming in these coming days, hopefully before weekend hits, or for the Smash Base too, or the day before or something. But yeah, no, we're entering into we had utility announcement, sending it around. And now we're going into we had some utility reveal, and now we're going into utility release along with promotion attached to it. So I'll
Base.
close out the VC. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one last thing. How much does Big Whale take for pinning a message in his chat?
You said BitBoy.
By Mr. Big Whale,
You saying Mr. Big Whale or BitBoy?
the Big Whale.
Mr. Big Whale. Let me see.
By beside the aimer, he take payment for. I know some people pay for pinning listen in the top.
Yeah, yeah, I have his prices around here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, that's the real Mr. Big Whale on alt. It goes by packages. So one tweet, one Telegram post and pinned is $850. Let me see if he has. Yeah, here I
Isn't
have
he?
it. Packages. One Telegram post and pin is $600.
Uh,
Yeah, but he supports us nonetheless, and it's not
but
the best time
he
for paid
isn't
promo.
cheap.
No, he's not. He's not. He's quite well known. I know he was very big on BSC, but as of a few months ago, he started spreading into Ethereum as well.
But mostly the project which is coming in his chat is still on BCS or PSC.
It's still showing BSC.
Mostly the project which is coming in his chat,
Yeah,
like 80% or something.
yeah, exactly. That's where I was offered promo. As you see, I have the pricing, but yeah, more BSC focused. And in Ethereum, you have to be a bit picky with influencers because there's
Yeah, but I
better
think it is
signals.
because it is cheap to make a token on Binance network.
Say again.
Saying that I think it is cheaper to make a contract on Binance network.
Yes, yeah, it's much cheaper. That's why there's so much volatility. The gas fees are cheaper, and also the deployment fees. Take care, Taz Crypto. Thank you for your input. It was extremely helpful per usual. Let's go. But yeah, no, so the deployment fees on Binance, I think are like, I mean, it changes, but they go down like $10 to $50, and then on Ethereum they've gone up to $1,000 just to deploy your contract. Well, not deploy it, but to make trading enabled for putting in liquidity. And then, obviously the gas fees of Ethereum have lowered, um, and so have Binance, BSC. So they're the swing trading or the dumping fest on BSC is a lot higher than Ethereum. Now that's changed a bit since gas fees have lowered with Ethereum with less traffic on the network. But yeah, that is the downfall of investing into BSC projects. It's all when we launched, we wanted to do a dual launch, so launch onto Ethereum, and then soon after we wanted to bridge over to BSC, but we did not get a good response from the community, so we did not do that. But yeah, in the future, when BSC is quite bullish in a bull market, um, in a bear market, it's like a testing ground for devs, because it's so cheap to deploy. But yeah, I mean, there's profits in it as well in a bull market, especially with bridging over from as a long-term project, because with so many rugs and scams on BSC, and then seeing a project that's been out for months and is bridging, they love that. But I personally do not trade in BSC anymore, but I may in the bull run. But it's definitely less of a long-term hold for most of the projects.
I never used that network because I know there's a lot of scams and rug pulls and that shit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's most of the reason why it's so cheap to buy and sell. And some of them aren't even rug pulls. It's just people paper hand a project extremely strong. There's a lot of pre-sales on there, and I always say is like, if you don't have the money for it, first, if it's a pre-sale, then launch on a more stable network, and second, if you don't have the money for it, then change your concept. If it's we're doing a pre-sale so we can make a crypto mansion, it's a house that will hold 500 people. We're doing a $1 million pre-sale, and we're gonna triple that. It's like, man, make an apartment. Start small. If you're not like some rich guy, don't or a rich lady, don't start with, yeah, we're going to buy the moon and start mining there. It'd be a bit more realistic. So there's a lot of that on BSC of unrealistic goals and roadmaps and pre-sales. Doing a pre-sale is a dump fest at launch unless the tokens are vested. And on Ethereum, I think Ethereum Coin, this is where I first saw it, was you start under for a lot of pre-sales, but a lot of I mean, there's scams everywhere, but yeah, BSCs. I used to invest and market a bit in BSC, and not one of those projects is alive today. And some of it not the dev's fault, some of it definitely the dev's fault. So yeah, I steer clear for BSC, but it is good for the bull market. There's so many projects, but yeah, for short-term holds. Nonetheless, I made 10K off a couple projects on BSC with a $500 investment. I think that's where BNB was at, maybe 400. And Binance is under a FUD attack, but it seems like a bit of a FUD campaign. CZ, such a degen, comes up says FUD is bullish. Hilarious, CZ. Yeah, this guy CZ is worth how many billion? I got it sent to me today. His hold on, I'll pull it up for you guys.
There's Polygon and the other networks. How much are they used?
Oh, I don't know. I have to look. Um, Not too much though. Ethereum, I do believe, is the most expensive network for deployment and gas fees. And CZ is worth $17.4 billion. But that's the valuation of Binance in general too. It's not truly it's his net worth.
Because I have seen the gas fees on Polygon. It is the same like BNB.
Yeah, I think all the other networks are cheaper than Ethereum.
Think
Yeah,
they are
that
used
brings in
as
more
much?
volatility. Sorry?
Do you think they are used as much like BNP?
AVAX had a rise, and when we met the CEO of AVAX, I asked, he said it's bear market, we're chilling on that, taking a break from it and building up more of a functionality. And Polygon and Solana have a big focus on NFTs. But yeah, I know that Polygon has low gas fees too, transaction fees, and Solana should as well. Um, but yeah, as far as projects, there's a good amount of Matic projects. But yeah, the most projects are on BSC. Oh, you could probably Googleable which one has the most altcoins. But yeah, those are some of the ones we were looking to explore for our bridge events. BSC, Matic, probably not Solana, a
So in
couple
the
others,
end,
maybe
if
Avax,
we
Avalanche.
bridge over to Polygon, we don't get much of it.
That's the thing. It depends on the amount of traffic inside of the market. So because that's why BSC is probably the precedence, but it's the and Ethereum is the more stable side of investing into altcoins, even though it still has its ups and downs. Um, BSC much worse. But inside of a bull market, then you have a huge, like it's like an infestation of investors on BSC. So there's yes, less fees, lower gas fees and whatnot, but many more transactions happening inside of a bull market. Then in a bear market, it's just low, like Ethereum as well. Especially right now with the gas fees not having too much of a difference, depending on how much money you got. But yeah, Polygon is quite up and coming. So really, I'm mostly interested in Matic or BSC, with BSC probably being the most reasonable bridge. But that's where we want to wait, right? So when that's our bull market strategy. When the market starts to recover, we'll start to see more signs, more bull signs. So like right now, Binance is under heat. If Binance gets hit by that heat, then BSC stops to become like the fan favorite for profit into our wallets. Then it goes into probably Polygon or AVAX, since we met they're high up in their company talking about increasing functionality and going back into it, because AVAX was huge. It was blowing up real big, and then it just stopped. That could be a very wise decision for less altcoins on the Avalanche network. But yeah, there's other ones to explore too. Cadena, Cardano, like what we had at our last one-to-one AMA. So there's a few of them, and they're all practical. We can do any of them. We'll still get good profits um, into as an investor, but also into budgeting with transactions. But yeah, it's which one's first, which one's the most lucrative to go first, and
And
which one's
bridge
gonna hold
to
steady.
more the two network.
Say again?
I'm asking if you can bridge over to more than two, three networks.
Yeah, we can bridge over to as many as we like. Essentially, it's like an exchange listing, or it can also essentially be a launch. They can be interconnected or also operating separately. There's a couple exchange listings that will bridge us just by listing with them. We provide the liquidity. There's no fees. Provide the liquidity for the bridges that we choose. I think they had three. There's a couple that are doing that now, and it's very similar to Moonbeam. Moonbeam might be an up and comer. If you guys are interested into holding centralized altcoins, they're high up. I would check into Moonbeam. I personally haven't had time, so if you check it out, we can talk about it. But I think their concept's quite interesting for the next bull run, where exactly what we're talking about. If you were to launch on the Moonbeam network, you put in we started with 3 ETH, right? Put in 3 ETH into liquidity, and it'll be available on 4 different networks. So I think it's BSC, Ethereum, Polygon, and I think it's AVAX too. maybe it was 5. But we heard them speak in New York, and I already knew about them. They're supposed to be like the big a great investment for the future.
Sounds much better than doing single network listing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're making 100K into your budget at launch, just on Ethereum, and then you times that to all these other networks, that's potentially 400K, 4 times the gains, which means if you have a good dev, 4 times the gains going into the project too for the person that's buying in individually. So I'm on their site now. The future is multi-chain. Expand to new chains powered by Moonbeam and Ethereum compatible smart contract parachain on Polkadot was the one. It was Polkadot. Currently highlighting Ethereum and Polkadot powered by Glimmer token.
When you list the tokens on our network, how does it work? Do you take tokens from Uniswap, or you take them somewhere else?
For bridging or exchange listing?
Now both.
For an exchange listing, you have to do a 1-to-1 ratio. So if it's 25K for liquidity at minimum, then you put 25K in tokens, so it's an even match for it to continue. It's similar with bridging. So if it's 3 ETH, then you can also convert 3 ETH for a true bridge, or you could also do Unchained Bridge, where it's you essentially just launch on that network as well, but announce and market it.
Yeah,
But then
but you
it's
have to take
budgeting going to different wallets.
yeah, but you have to take the token somewhere from somewhere, right? And the only place we have token right now is Uniswap, right?
Hmm.
You gotta take them from Uniswap.
So there's different options, right? We could have it as a new token operating in the same brand. But yeah, no. So essentially, it would be for a true bridge, it would be 3 Ethereum from our budget, and we could easily just buy 3 Ethereum, yeah, like using Uniswap, and then matching that to set up the migration.
Okay, that is how it works. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I am going to close out the VC. Unless there's any Hulky new focus questions, feel free. What's it called? Yeah, it's called Moonbeam. Yeah, use Kusama. Let me send you the link, Hexa. All right, if there's no other Hulky new focus questions, I will close out VC, schedule it for tomorrow, same time, 5 p.m. EST. Make sure you guys are smashing the guest list for the Hulky new Smash Space this Saturday, 2 days from now, the 17th at 8 p.m. EST. Set your reminders. 10 projects pitching, good projects, good devs, a lot of them from the Centricon. Give it a look. See if you guys have questions during that space. Have the request to speak. Should be able to recognize your Twitter profile, and also you can also just send it inside of main chat. But yeah, we have our co-host Shish Toshi on there as well, and we'll be rolling out some of these utilities we've been talking about, and throw out some snippets for you guys, as well as narration being added. We have the narration audio in from Kyle Hebert. Narration will be added to the Hulky new comic, as well as we're now that we have the audio, we are getting started on the motion graphics being added, which shouldn't take too long, and that will be in tonight. We'll give you more updates when we finally hear back from the Chinese promotion company, setting up an AMA, and then I can finally book my ticket to Hong Kong, and we can shill that around as well, along with utilities being rolled out. So bear in mind, utilities are financially fueling Hulk Inu as well exposure based as we build more traffic onto them. something that should be helpful for all of you guys as well as other projects, so we can get some good traffic into it. So that's my ending sentiment. Thank you guys for listening in. I will try to make these shorter, but then also staying on as I work in the background too. But shout out to everyone listening. Thank you, Hexa, Polka, Helicopter, Toast, Shiba Doge Soldier, Gru, Shiba Doge Man, Xiao Xiao, Yam Cola, and Crypto Prince. Thank you guys for joining. Again, if you have more questions, feel free to tag me in chat. Make sure you check out our pins and review our 6 utilities to come. 10 utilities within launch. Let's go and Hulk out.